My first hairstyle for nasty hair is literally just a hat or a beanie. I don't feel like I see people wear beanies or hats a very great deal. They're cute, they work around a fire, why shouldn't we? And they keep your head warm, obviously. They're just fun, they come in all the best colours, and it's just a good idea. I usually tie my hair up in a little bun or a low bun so that when I do take it off I don't look quite so nasty. Hats, they're fun, they're cool. This one needs to be tighter, but they're hip, they look the part. I think I look so smart. Oh, there's a spider web, good grief. Why have I not seen that before? If there's a sodding huntsman in my room, we're gonna have issues. Whenever I have greasy hair, I leave dry shampoo at the front, I don't know, a finger distance away from my hairline, all the way around the front, and then I leave it and then I brush it out. I tip my head upside down and I brush it because I feel like it gives more volume. So now that we resemble something slight of a lion, now I just neaten to make her not quite so obviously puffy. This first hairstyle, I've got my fingers from like the tops behind my ears and just shoved it to the center of the top of my head. I'm separating the rest of my hair roughly from the center of that first little bun all the way to the nape of my neck, and then dividing the hair into two buns. When putting the excess hair in a bun, I would make it to the utmost part of your head. Don't make it too neat. The more texture going on with these buns will make it less obvious that it's three sections instead of a whole bun together. This next hairstyle is a simple braid at the front hairline. I'd recommend doing your fringe or the side that you normally part your hair on. Do this neatly the first time and you won't touch it for the rest of the night. The reason I'm doing a braid at the front of the head is because it's what people see first, and I think that a really featured, detailed braid that's pulled out a bit is a really nice way to distract from the fact that your hair has not been washed. Gives it a bit more texture, it's a bit more interesting than tying it back in a bun, and you can do a little bit more with it. So I'm just grabbing hair from the front of my face and pulling it into a braid. I'm a big believer that braids that have been pulled out a bit and tugged at look just that bit better than a typical braid, especially when your hair is greasy. Now I'm pulling it out, starting from the top of my head and going down the length all the way to the end. Do this if you want, you don't have to. I just think it looks pretty mad. So I go back and forth a few times and yeah, do it until you get your desired size. From here, I'm just tying the rest of my hair back into a ponytail with the braid as a feature. And another method you can do is to pop your braid into the back of your hair and secure it with some bobby pins. If you have a fringe, this is fantastic. Braiding from the very front hairline all the way back to the apex of your head or the highest point of your head. You could also stop earlier than then. It's good because it's gathering all your hair into a neat, tidy braid and then pulling just above your ear, the hair on either side of your head, into a ponytail. I feel like a high ponytail always makes me feel so much more confident, and it just makes this look a bit more together and polished. You could also put this into a bun. It's completely up to you. I gather hair from either side of my head above my ears and pull it to the top of my head. You can see I carefully put my finger down the center of the back of my hair, and then I loop the hair around the front until I get to the end, shove it into a little bun, and then I tie it up with a hair tie. Then I pull this out and fasten it with a few bobby pins. I have a few shorter bits of hair, so I always seem to need bobby pins, but I just like this. It's easy, it's pretty go-to. I think it looks fairly sleek if you do it right. It's pretty quick if you really have no time to do anything with your hair. Separating the front portion of your hair again and pulling it straight up, I then do a plait. You can braid this if you want, and I just braid to the very end of my length of hair. Then I'm securing it with an elastic band. Securing my hair with the elastic band, I don't pull my hair all the way through to leave a tail out. Instead, I make a loop with it at the end. I pull my hair back and flatten out the front of my hair a little bit to make it not so lumpy. Then I wrap the braid around the top of my hair in a circle shape and fasten it with bobby pins. I think this is a very pretty look, especially when your hair's a bit nasty. And I find the best way to make sure the front of your hair isn't too lumpy is to fix it before you go, or just shove some more bobby pins in there if you have them. The last hairstyle is what I will call a hairband braid because it really looks like one once you're finished. basically it's a braid that sits across the front of your hair at your hairline. So tip your hair to your preferred side, and then you'll put your finger or a comb, if you want it to be a bit neater, behind either ear, and then take that all the way over the top of your head to the opposite ear. It's really up to you how thick or how far from your hairline you want this braid to be. You want enough that you can braid your hair properly. I don't think too thin a section is a great idea, but I have a pretty thorough amount of hair on my head. I prefer to tie my hair back, as you can see, because it makes sure that I don't get any hair caught in here. So now separate and smooth out all of your hairs and start braiding. It's completely up to you what kind of braid or plait you want to do, and the biggest tip I can give with this is to not take too large sections and make them as perpendicular or straight to your head as you possibly can. You don't want too little sections and you don't want too large sections. You really want it to be quite even as it goes up your head. Makes it a lot easier to braid and it looks a lot better at the end too. Plus it strains on your hairline less. I've noticed a few times when I've done this and it's not very even, it really doesn't look very good and it kind of pinches. Heads up, your arms are gonna hurt. So keep following that one all the way around your head. Take breaks as necessary. As you come to the end of your braid, try not to pull your hands or the braid too far away from your ear. You still want it to be as tight as possible to the scalp, and pay attention to those last few hairs behind your ear. Then braid it all the way to the end. You may notice mine's a bit gappy. You're more than welcome to pull this out. I wouldn't worry too much if you can see your scalp, because you can pull it out as you go. My head was too sore, so I didn't do that. You can start from further behind your ear, because it won't form the best shape at the beginning until you've got more hair in it to the end. You might notice that it's pretty loose here and now, you can really tell. You can tie it into a bun, you cannot, you can elastic band it. Bobby pins, I find I usually end up playing with them throughout the entire day, trying to make sure they stay put. Doing any heat with your hair is kind of pointless with this, but because this is such a pretty hairstyle, what I do is curl the ends of it. I tie a little bit at the nape of my neck onto the end of where this braid lands. I just find elastics are the surefire way to make sure it stays there. There's no chance it will really move. Just separate the other hair a bit away, and yeah, I just try and make it as high up and close to my scalp as possible. I think this is a super pretty hairstyle. It's really off your face, it's kind of glamorous, and it's neat, it's tidy. You can pull it out a bit if you want to. This hairstyle is one that I would do a little bit of curling if I had the time to, because I think it just adds to it. I have found that throughout the day this can shift a bit, and it's kind of like no one's gonna care, but you might. I have, and it can distract from the fact that you haven't secured it any other fancy way. I hope this video was really helpful and enjoyable to watch. It was fun to film it. Let me know, and if you have any of your own hairstyles that also work, I'd love to know about them. Yeah, so thanks for watching.